Hi guys, so today's Saturday and it's July the 28th, I think. Anyway, 28th? Yeah, I think so. Well, anyway, Saturday. And I don't know if this wasn't in the news a lot, okay, just a little bit. So can you believe this? On Friday, Trump had a meeting about election security. Oh yeah. He chaired the meeting. Can you believe that? Is going to tell them that nothing happened. Nothing happened. No, no, no. So this is actually a press release from the White House. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to show you this article from the New York Post. It says, of course, after the meeting, Trump chairs election security meeting, but gives no new orders to repel Russian interference. Oh, really? Right? It's so shocking. No, it's not. So, okay. So let me read this. Today, Donald J. Trump, chaired a meeting with the National Security Council to receive updates. Ooh. Froze. To receive updates on the whole of government approach his administration is implementing to safeguard our national elections. His effort was put in motion at the beginning of this administration and has been carried out to support state and local election officials in 50 states, the territories, and the District of Columbia. The president has made it clear that in his administration will not tolerate foreign interference in our elections from any nation state or other malicious actors. The president's discussion with his NSC addressed threats posed to our elections from malign foreign actors, efforts underway to provide cybersecurity assistance to state and local authorities, and actions to investigate, prosecute, and hold accountable those who illegally attempt to interfere in our political and electoral processes. The Trump administration will continue to provide and support the necessary. Oh, hold on. The Trump administration will continue to provide the support necessary to the owners of election systems, state and local governments, to secure their elections. Attendees: President Donald J. Trump, Vice President Michael Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin, Secretary of Defense James Mattis, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and then, okay, Chris, so my face is starting to hurt because it's like too much for too long. I was like making, So Kristen Nielsen, oh, does she have baby smoothies? John Kelly, Mick Mulvaney, another awful person, by the way. Dan Coates, Gina Haspel, John Bolton. Oh, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Joe Dunford. Director of FBI, Chris Wray. Commander, U.S. Security Command, U.S. Cyber Command Director, Paul Nakasone. So, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of hurting here. Anyway, so I just wanted to say I hadn't read it. It was kind of like just as a joke, but I just wanted to say something here that I read, something bring your attention to this, okay? Which is something that the guy that I did the reading about the election against for the Georgia governor, okay, that guy Brian Kemp. This is something I remember one of the articles, he was trying to prevent the federal government from looking into the legality of like their voter purging. This is what he argued, that states should have to own the election system. So in other words, so that they can continue to do the illegal stuff they do. So I thought it was quite telling and interesting. But anyway, so that's that. I'm going to stop here and then get to the reading. So guys, I am doing the reading on what I've just done the funny intro for, which is this cyber meeting, right? The meeting about the election security. Can you imagine? What a joke, right? So 3 questions here I wrote down. What happened in the meeting? What did Trump say? Did anybody tell the truth? Any interesting interactions that could have happened? First, I'm going to do the eyes closed, and then I'm going to use call. I actually have all the cards here next to me. I think it'd be funny, interesting to see. So let's see what happened at this meeting. Like such a joke, right? Guys, very interesting. So it showed that, of course, Trump wanted to chair this meeting because he's saying, I'm going to tell them that nothing happened. It's like a kind of like a wishful thinking, right? So he tells them this, and in the background is Putin, right? Because I remember remember when I did this reading, there was a series of 3 readings about what they discussed in the meeting. Putin was very worried. The one thing he doesn't want is that they find evidence the Russian hackers really did go in the electoral systems, voter databases, and so forth. So that's his biggest fear, and because then there's evidence that Russia really did this. Okay, regardless of the fact that it's pretty obvious, okay, when they have the actual evidence, and I think Mueller already has, because he already said those things about those. It already indicted so many people, right? So there's so many hackers, so I think he knows. But what I wanted to say is, so Trump is in the back of his mind is I see Putin in fire, burning everything down. Putin. He knows that he has to convince them. Putin's orders were to convince them that nothing happened. So he goes like an idiot, right? It's in front of these people some of them are traitors, others are not, obviously not traitors, who are very knowledgeable, know what's going on, and telling them in front of them, lying to them that nothing is happening. Okay, so that's the first thing that showed, and he's very nervous because he doesn't know anything about facts, right? So he doesn't care about facts. It's all bullshit. So he has to stand in front of these people and explain to them with a straight face that nothing happened. Okay, so that's part 1. So what did he say exactly? As you know, nothing happened. Nothing happened to the election. It could be anybody. There's Chinese, there's North Korea, there's all this, there's Iran. No, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Russia, Mr. President Putin told me nothing happened. And I see people there like, they can't say anything, right? So, okay, so then did anyone tell the truth? This is my question. Did any of the people who are serious, like Christopher Wray and the head of Joint Chiefs of Staff, did they say anything? What was their reaction? Saying they knew what this was going to be about. Obviously, he would never do anything to harm himself. Christopher Wray knows a lot, and he knows exactly how it shows that he already knows what happened, and he already has teams. Oh, guys, this is going back to the thing I said before. There's already FBI investigations going on into what happened in each state. The thing I told you, remember the whole thing about Stacey? So they are investigating super top secret because obviously, right, there's all these Republicans involved, and it shows the collaboration between the Russians and the Republicans. So they're pretending nothing's happening. They're like, okay, sure. For some reason, I'm seeing that side by side Mattis and Chris Wray, and they have talked in the past, but only in skiffs, right? Skiffs are these rooms that are protected, so there's nobody can pick up their signals and stuff. So it was. Now it's showing guys. It was just an announcement, okay? There was no discussion. It was just Trump wanted to kind of get ahead of the news or whatever on this. So very interesting. Okay, so that's that. Oh my God. Yeah, just quickly, just to the cards. It's interesting because it's not showing me anything. It's like he's just making this announcement, and in a way telling them that I'm not gonna tolerate the truth, right? This is the party line, okay? And oh look, oh there he is. Oh my God, look at this, guys. This is him, the retired guy upside down. So it's like and it shows here that upside down it's the con artist. Okay. Oh really? Oh really? They're unhappy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Really? What happened? Oh look, the conversation upside down. So share the conversation. Ooh yeah. Share the conversation, baby. Okay. Yeah, a little child, really, the money. There's right, there's just a lack of, obviously, they're not celebrating. People are upset here. Conversation, this is money for this, too, okay? So I think they're saying, or it could also be many. I almost feel like he was also, this was part of the deal, like I said, Putin wants him to convince them that nothing's happening, okay? So, interesting, money or many. Oh, it could be that the whole thing, it's like Trump's obsessed about his money, right? So he wants to make sure that, yep. Yeah, so he doesn't want the uncovering. Okay, so I'll show you this. So this is la superbia upside down. It means pride. So it means, I think of uncovering, right? I always think of it as facade. So upside down means uncovering the truth in these conversations. It's like he doesn't want uncovering the truth. This is kind of bad because there's no reconciliation, right? In the sense that it's obvious, it becomes obvious to the good people that he doesn't want to have the truth. Okay, obviously, right? So the good people here are not going to reconcile with the bullshit here related to him. And things are going to change for him. Oh yeah, baby. You see the money here. These two cards to me represent him. But interesting. Yeah, so that's right, guys, pretty clear here. Yeah. What is it here? Okay, so yeah, so private communication. Yeah, okay, we know that. Financial opportunity for Trump. Oh, look! Court person, this would be Justice Department. So things are going to change for Trump because justice is coming for him. Oh, yeah, So yeah, it was like this shady meeting. It was all bullshit. Okay. Privately. So that's it, guys, okay? All right. Interesting. I guess I was expecting something or like some drama, but it's all bullshit. He's like stating the party line, okay? Right? So, okay. Guys, this is part, I was going to do this separately, but this brought up a question that I wanted to ask. And just because everything converged here, and I've seen this in the reading about Stacey Abrams. So I just want to confirm, is the FBI investigating local elections and voter fraud, including voter purges and database interference? Because this is connected, this is why I came back. But I'm not gonna do an extra. Okay, so this reminds me, okay, because this is is the FBI investigating? Yes. Interesting, guys. They're investigating because of the trail of the Russians. So they're going where the Russians went, okay? And there was this article, someone mentioned this guy to me, Greg Palast, Palast, and he's some journalist, he has a website with all these, his main focus is voter fraud, okay, and voter suppression stuff. So in this article, no, sorry, in his website, it's like he has all kinds of articles, not just his own, but whenever their articles pop up with the subject, he posts there. So one article from Georgia was saying that there's evidence that these hackers that already were indicted by Mueller had been on website, the local vote for what was it? Local voter job listings or something. I think that's what was told, apparently. I don't know how they found this information out, but I mean, it said that this information, they got this information, and the local people were advising local elections to watch for it. But whatever, it's not everything, obviously. Okay. So it said yes, that the reason why the FBI went to these local elections because there's a trail of Russians. Okay. So, and that's how. Okay. Does the FBI know of the coordination between the Republicans and the Russians to go in and do the things I've seen before, which is go and change the voter database so that people can vote in the voting machines? Yes. It's a pattern. It's undeniable. They see it. Mueller sees it. So he needs to first, oh, that's right. He needs to first indict the Russians and then go after the people that helped them. And that's how they're going. It's explaining to be interesting because it's showing how Mueller sees this pattern. This is quite interesting, guys, because first he's investigating, right? He starts with investigating the Russian stuff. But then as they know much more about those Russian hackers, they see where they went and that there's a pattern. So how do they get this pattern? And this is how, guys, so that this is like, and this is giving, remember before I said, oh, Rico, it's so obvious now because they're saying there has to be coordination. It wasn't random. Okay, they just weren't like bumping into places. They needed local help in order to find where to do it. Okay, so this is why, and they have information. They have already gathered information about the communications of all these Republicans in local elections who made it happen, okay, who helped it. So that's that, guys. So this is why, okay, this whole thing, the discourse of a lot of these Republicans saying, oh, elections have to be local. It's so that they get local officials who are corrupt and it's continued to mess up the voter database situation, okay, preventing people from voting. And that's their plan. And this is why, guys, it's fascinating, right? Because I thought before that Mueller was aware or like he knew, but he literally first came into contact with this when he realized the strange occurrences, okay? They needed local help. And so, okay, so is this part of the Mueller investigation or is this a side thing? Side. Okay, so it's showing that this is filtering into the Mueller investigation, but they've started all the local investigations because obviously the team is investigating the main federal government thing. But since it was seeped to local, then he has to employ local things because the point for them is they have to get to the bottom of what happened at the election. It's not just Trump, like I said. So they're gonna dig the stuff. Okay, so. Oh, and this is before I stop now, guys. I'm going to stop. I'm going to say something kind of sad, but also fascinating. You know, this guy, really disgusting guy, name is Chris Kobach. He's a big person in voter suppression, okay? It's a long story. This is not the point. This is not the video of Chris Kobach. But he is supposedly heading the polls in, it's weird. I'm saying this because just as it is in Georgia, the Republican there is this guy who clearly is very involved in voter suppression and the helping out the Russians, I think. Chris Kobach also in Ohio has a similar role. So it's interesting that they're trying to put all these people in power who have control of voter suppression, okay, which is how they can try to prevent fair elections from really happening. So we'll see. So this is why, guys, okay? Quite interesting. All right. Okay. Bye.